Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are back again covering an SS1-1 war update. We got POS that's coming in, dropping the Thunder Rock early, trying to make kind of a sneak play here on TA. And I just want to point out, dude, they are shockingly doing a decent bit of damage right now, right? Unfortunately, Junie, I think, ended up probably hitting his Harley Quinn mask if he was running one here, or just pulling aggro on the Thunder Rock, so you can see that happening. But again, the POS players continuing that fight. Now we have NT45 who is joining in on some of this action. This is actually pretty cool. So TA throws their Dire Bear down. I just want to point out, this actually seems to be somewhat of a decent coordinated attack, right? You got some players here from OFUX, started with POS. I see an two NT45 players now. This is a little bit more of kind of what I was hoping for, right? Where it's, you know, hey, look, if we see a bunch of TA players on and they're at a flag, they're at a fort, you know, because typically if you're kind of fighting solo or by yourself in isolated situations per your alliance, which at least thus far it feels like we have been seeing, it's probably not as impactful as if POS, NT45, and OFUX, right, coordinate and say, look, we're just going to push together, right? And especially if they're kind of pushing from the same area. Like, I mean, that's kind of the idea, is that if you're able to do enough damage spread out where you're attacking them on 3 fronts at minimum, if not more, that's really where the value's coming in. But then, if you feel like one of your alliances is getting pushed farther, then why not go ahead and coordinate, right? You can do this, I mean, in short, a few ways, right? Given everyone's in zone 3, you don't necessarily need to be able to have the capability of placing, for example, your fort, or repositioning your fort, right, in another area, or leaving one alliance and joining another alliance. And obviously you have to, you know, wait for the cooldown to hit before you can territory teleport back onto that new alliance's territory, right? Just run, right? Just send your marches to where they need to go, and you can still be extremely impactful. So I just want to point out, man, this is actually pretty good right now from these forces. I don't know if anyone is going to be pulling some aggro here on the Dire Bear. We'll have to see. But again, they're doing a good job when it comes to, at least, you know, again, finally from what I'm seeing, getting some nice coordination and making a play, right? Boogie leading that charge right now as well for them. This is where, right, you want to get a little bit more spread out. This is the thing with the Dire Bear, right? Spreading out not only is a good idea in general when you're doing general PvP, right? You kind of want to arch, like create arches. But it's also good when behemoths are summoned. Why? Because you'll take also less AoE damage in that regard as well. Right, in this situation, right, TA, I mean, again, probably overextending a little bit here. Ooh, wow, oh, Boogie being able to get a nice Shadow Games off. Right, probably doesn't want to push this Lilia that far up. In this situation, I would just pull back, right, and just spread, wait for the Dire Bear cooldown to go down, or if you have someone that can draw aggro from a Harlequin mask on, or even just pulling general aggro, right, depending on how long that'll sustain for. And as always, right, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell, and if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, right, remember, hit up the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description right down below. Hang on, I gotta move this up here because I don't think we were getting any audio that entire time. Okay, there we go. Probably getting a decent bit now. All right, this is actually pretty okay. So now, right, TA is kind of resurging. A few reinforcements that are coming up here from the southwest, and yeah, I mean, again, getting some decent Legion replenishment here on this fight. I don't know if we're going to be seeing anyone else. Looks like a few POS. Not sure how many more people are on right now. And this is the thing, right? Let's, for a moment, talk about kind of grand scale. Let me just show you, like, what's the actual update here, right? So they're trying to go after this Alliance Fortress here for NT45. That's what TA is pushing. And, I mean, sure, if they get this, then, you know, it's pretty done for, you know, the 12 or so flags that they have left. And then what my imagination is, because GRZ is still pushing down here, they'll probably push here to the east, And then from this position, most likely just continue pushing POS out of Zone 3 is what I would surmise. At least for the area that they have up here, right? On the, or I guess I should say kind of at the middle or second to highest northeastern level 3 pass. And then if you go over here to the west, southwest, right? They're actually doing somewhat of an okay job, right? They've disrupted this. But with the way that TA has flagged themselves out, right? We kind of talked about the figure 8. They would have to go this way as far as pushing northeast over here through this mountain ridge choke point, and they would have to disconnect this in order, right? So they would have to go 1, 2, they'd have to at least get 3 more flags here in order to then disconnect all of this, right, leading to NT45. That could help, but they would have to be able to stall NT45 long enough while they kept pushing. Otherwise, the only other way to do it right now would be, I mean, because again, once NT45 loses this, I mean, their only play would be to have to recapture, right? This is what they'd have to do. Or, again, they probably could drop an Alliance Fortress maybe here, just depending on the range for that. Or they'd have to take the pass, POS doesn't defend, then they can continue to push in again with, I think it looked like about 20. We'll have to check again. I thought there was maybe about 20 or 30 minutes left on that Alliance Fort before it ended up getting destroyed. And then you have to consider OUFX, because at the moment, OUFX is down here. So their hope is to try and maybe retake this pass so they can reconnect their territory. Because if TA is able to just go straight for the Alliance Fort, which again is one play, then they'll immediately disconnect all of this territory, which again, they don't have any behemoths or anything, but you know, you're still talking some member capacity, you're still talking possibly some villages that are there as well, and then general Alliance resources, right? So you have kind of 3 factors that go into that. Really, and then you have POS, who from POS's standpoint, they're over here, right? But they're nowhere close to this. TA has already flagged out a bit. So, again, with POS being right here, they'd have to reflag back up through the pass. Most likely coming, I want to assume coming this way, right? They might have to, yeah, because this is TA, so they might have to do something like this, where they go this way, down to the pass. I'm not sure if they can go up here. Yeah, they can't, see that blocks. And I don't think there's a bridge that's here right now. So the only play would be essentially going back northwest here, past the Giant Bear, and then trying to recircle all the way back around. Because up here is, that's not TA, PWA, right? So they're in somewhat of a tight scenario. And because they're pushing down here, GRZ is probably already just kind of taking flag by flag. This is like the big area, essentially. I don't know if OUFX is doing anything down here. Yeah, again, no one's pushing this flag or putting pressure on that. Let's see here. What's happening? Okay, so OUFX is actually building a flag right now. And if they build this flag, this actually isn't bad. If they can get done building this next flag, they might be able to cut off this, which would at least remove, I don't know, what is that, 12, 13, maybe 14 flags that they could do there. And then if they're able to keep putting pressure, working their way north. So if they disconnect this flag, and then maybe they can work here to this choke point, and maybe that's where they converge, or depending on what, because again, right, I'm not sure what POS is doing up here. After they destroyed that flag, they're not putting pressure. Oh, there we go. So maybe 1 or 2 people? Dude, my boy Coffee, man. This is what I'm talking about, man. This, to me, is really what it should be, right? You should have anyone who's not online just send 1 march to go and destroy flags. It applies pressure, right? Especially if they're players that are not really engaging. Remember, even if you're not at a position or a point where you feel confident or strong enough to engage in a fight, or maybe you're just not able to be on for a long period of time, send a march to a flag, right? And be okay with if it gets hit, Because what you're doing in part is you are also creating pressure. And especially if you have good activity, right? This is really what I would argue is better to do when you have good activity online, right? Is you let your PV, and this is kind of advanced tactics. I'm not trying to give away all the secrets here, but at times you would allow for your PvP players to go out and do the attacking, right? And then those that maybe are at like that T2, T3 stage, or maybe they're not all the way at T4, if they're maybe some of your lower powered players, or if they're players that, you know, are just not able to be, like maybe it's an active time, like it's a good active window, but they're just not able to be on because they're on the opposite window. They should send marches out to flags just to apply pressure, or send a march out to go and destroy a barricade. Right? I mean, again, there's multiple use, or build a barricade. There's multiple things that you can do, or help build a keep. Right? There's multiple things you can do. Once again, I feel like I'm just on repeat at this point. Right? That you could do, even if you're not able to be on for 30, 60, 2 hours straight, you can still impact the board. And that's what's really important. And again, I don't know if POS is doing anything up here. Yeah, so see, none of these flags are getting attacked. I mean, there's like 5 flags that you could basically just be doing, and I don't know what they're doing here. Oh, they are. So it looks like they are going northeast, putting a little pressure here. This has 49 minutes, no keep here, and this to me is a great place to put a keep, right? Oh wow, so it doesn't look like they can go across, but they basically did a flag build across. They probably just walked, I'm imagining, the long way is most likely what they did. So yeah, so I mean, again, right, so some pressure is being applied right now from 2 fronts, but the big one here is NT45. I mean, is it the end of the world if they lose this alliance for it? It's not. However, what most likely would happen, I'm imagining at this point, is they would lose the alliance for it, and then, like I said, maybe TA will push east, disconnect this from the pass, and then maybe they'll keep pushing northeast. Maybe they'll let GRZ push northeast. Right, that might be one play if they just want to kind of move POS out of the region. It also depends on the level of pressure that we're seeing POS over here on the southwestern side, along with OFUX here on the southeastern side. What level of pressure are they going to be able to put? Is NT45 maybe just doing the play right now where they say, look, we're not going to even worry about this. We're just going to basically go ahead and rally? I mean, that would be one thing if you think about it. If they already felt like they were going to lose the alliance for it, what they could have done is just already start rallying the pass, right? And then you can start flagging south, flag to the open spots. So that way they kind of have to chase you a little bit. And on top of that, if you start flagging out through here, right, where you're at least 1 flag away, even if you lose the pass, you still have those flags up. So once you retake the passes, they're reconnected, right? Basically, you're kind of forcing TA to do extra work in that situation. Now, if we look at it from TA's side, it's going to be interesting to see what plays out here over the next day or two, who's going to be able to make a push, a counter push, and then what will happen from there. That is it. So, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, right? Do you think TA is just going to end up pushing with GRZ and kind of have this just slow but yet overwhelming victory? Will NT45 POS and OFUX be able to counter? Will they be able to withstand and hold? I mean, again, right, it does look like the favor is still on the TA GRZ side. We will definitely be keeping you apprised and seeing what happens. Nice to see at least a little bit of a skirmish. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to get back on where we can find a nice big... I love when they just load all the troops up on one side and then they just go at it, and it's a big, like, 50 versus 50. Man, those are some of the best moments that I have witnessed thus far in COD. And okay, that is finally going to do it, so that way I don't get my head chewed off. Hope you guys enjoyed, as always. Until next time, I will catch you later.